Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the 5 things that I love about the 2022 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. Before we get in the video though, I do want to mention if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. The first thing that I love about the 4Runner TRD Pro is the styling. So I think it goes without saying, but this electric lime green metallic just looks so cool, especially in person. It's super bright. This is like the type of color you expect to see on a Lamborghini, not a Toyota 4Runner, you know, an off-road SUV. But I think overall they did a really good job with the styling. I mean, the 4Runner is a pretty old car at this point, but it still looks really cool to this day. You've got, you know, the little hood scoop here in the center with the TRD Pro. You've got Toyota's like vintage logo, which looks really cool. I love how sharp the lights look. And then having the TRD skid plate there underneath, again, kind of adds to the aggressive appearance. Having these aggressive all-terrain tires also, you know, kind of makes it look a little bit crazier. And then you can see with the wheels how those are, well, used to be blacked out, but now they're sand colored because of all the sand on it. But the rack at the top looks really cool. Again, just all of the different blacked out elements on it to contrast, I think look really good with the 4Runner. And again, like I said, this is an old vehicle from, you know, the standpoint of the last time it's been redesigned, and it still looks really cool to this day. And it actually still gets a lot of attention. It's surprising. You know, usually you expect a vehicle to have to be brand new for it to get as much attention as what this gets. Now, number 2 has to pertain to the engine. Okay, so I guess we will have to pop the hood. And I had to take a spider off of the door handle. Green vehicles attract so many bugs. It's kind of a thing that not a lot of people talk about. But anyways, under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 4-liter V6. Yes, this is an ancient powertrain, but it is extremely reliable, and it just feels so torquey. And you know, they always say there is no replacement for displacement, and I think it's true in the 4Runner's case. Again, having a big naturally aspirated V6 is just a huge benefit with this. It feels so much better than, well, the little 3.5-liter V6 you get with the Tacoma from an engine perspective. And so, yeah, on-road, it feels better, and then off-road, definitely. Like, when you're doing that slow-speed crawling, it's just so torquey, and, you know, at lower RPMs, it's just great. And, love the engine. Doesn't get the best fuel economy, but it's great. Now, the third thing that I love about the 4Runner is the size. I think the 4Runner is the perfect size. It's actually a little bit smaller than the Tacoma, believe it or not, in terms of the overall length. And so it fits down trails just perfectly fine. It's not super wide, so again, it fits from a width perspective, but it's got plenty of interior space. Like if we pop inside here, you guys can see, I mean, this seat isn't, that's kind of moved a little further back. Just tons of room for your legs, and then headroom is also solid because it's, you know, a taller SUV. And then you can see here for the rear passengers, look at this. Look how much space you have back here. You can fit adults back there very comfortably. And then on top of that, gotta lift this up, we have tons of cargo space here in the back as well. And so it's got space for the people, it's got space for the cargo, and it still fits down trails comfortably. And it's not like crazy big to fit into parking spaces and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just, again, it's the perfect size where it's very practical from like a people mover / cargo mover perspective, but then it still works for around town driving and for off-roading. Now, the number 4 thing has to pertain to the capability. So first off, we have like over 9.6 inches of ground clearance here with the TRD Pro. We've got a really solid approach angle because this one has the off-road style bumper on the 4Runner, which frankly I think just looks better. But on top of that, right, we've got these pretty aggressive all-terrain tires. I think they're like 31s or 32s, but definitely they look fantastic. We also have Fox shocks. It's kind of hard to see. TRD tuned suspension. The shocks are tuned by TRD as well. But with all of that combined, it's extremely capable off-road. If you guys haven't seen my off-road review, I recommend go and watch that on the main channel. I did some like Jeep Wrangler type crawling with the 4Runner TRD Pro. Like, it was not easy stuff. Like, I dinged up the exhaust tip a little bit, hit the splash guards a little bit, but yeah, I was just shocked at how capable this is. It can handle low-speed crawling, it can handle high-speed off-roading as well. It does pretty much everything, and then again, like I said, it's got tons of interior space, it's a people mover, it just has a lot of capability behind it, both on-road and off-road, and that's something that I really appreciate about the 4Runner. Now, the 5th and final thing has to pertain to the reliability. So we already popped the hood earlier, so I'm not going to pop the hood again, but again, we have that naturally aspirated 4-liter V8. It's paired to a 5-speed automatic transmission, super robust and reliable. And this whole setup on the 4Runner has been produced for quite some time. And so everything is just like really dialed in. Like everything that you grab in the interior feels really solid and sturdy. And you guys can see with what they've done with the materials, it doesn't necessarily look the nicest, but you can tell that this interior is still going to be all together in 300,000 miles, which is really cool. And if we pop in here, ooh, we've got this cool like little digital gauge cluster, but again, it's not like a huge, you know, screen display like what you have on a lot of other modern vehicles. And so again, this is something that you know is going to last for quite some time. And then same thing with the infotainment system. Again, this isn't the most modern infotainment system, but again, reliability, super solid. And then look at all the controls. Like everything in here is just super robust, super durable. Like, I don't know, you just don't have like fears about stuff breaking here in the 4Runner with all of the equipment. And so that's something that I really appreciate about the 4Runner TRD Pro is it's just super reliable. And when I took it off road, I didn't have like any fears of the car breaking down. My biggest fear was just, you know, accidentally puncturing a tire. That is it. Everything else though, I'm like, man, this can take on everything. And so I think it's a big plus. That's gonna sum things up for the 5 things that I love about the 2022 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. With that being said, I will see all of you in the next video.